Well, we've been away for a while, but I think that this is definitely something worth returning to, because we are going to be talking about Phisnom. So a while ago, we talked about Phisnom on this channel, and when we talked about Phisnom, it was because he hadn't released FNAF Plus. We talked about that game a few times, and honestly, I said that he doesn't seem like he's a real developer. He seems like he's a social media star who just so happened to make a fan game that Scott liked and wanted to put in the fanverse. He doesn't act like a professional. He isn't fit to be a professional, and I estimated that we weren't getting this game anytime soon because of his childish behavior. Well, he recently got into another controversy, and we're going to be talking about this, and unlike everybody else on YouTube who's done a video thus far, we're not on Phisnom's side. We disagree with Phisnom. So let me start this by saying, I am not a stan for FNAF Security Breach, but I am all about being professional. There will never be a point where Scott Cawthon goes on his account and trash talks the people who made that game, that being Steelwool, or the people who made FNAF AR. Like, he won't do that because he's a professional, and there's no reason to trash talk the people that are on your team. Like, I get the fact that Phisnom isn't personally connected to these people and isn't personally connected to this game, but he could agree to disagree and be more polite about it, seeing how the guy who employs him is literally in charge of these games, and trashing these games makes him look bad too. There's a way to disagree with something and not be a jerk about it, and Phisnom doesn't know how to do that, and that's a very bad thing. So Phisnom apparently got harassed by his fans to cover the new FNAF DLC, that being Ruin. This is free DLC, and it's actually a full additional campaign for the game if you've already bought the base game. It's a really nice gesture from the developers to give you guys something more, because they honestly felt bad for the first game being cut up and being glitchy and all the problems that it had. So Phisnom played it and he hated it because he didn't like the original game. When it comes to Security Breach, if you like the first half, you'll probably really like the second half. But if you didn't like the first half, this is just more of that, more stuff you don't like. I think the big reason why he doesn't like it is because FNAF is turning 10 years old, and he grew up with the old FNAF, back when things were all about gruesome murders and haunted animatronics and all the convoluted lore. I don't think that he liked the neon glam rock aesthetic, the weird 80s aesthetic to it. He didn't like the more kiddie direction. He didn't like that this franchise that was gritty to a degree was now all clean and polished and goofy. And I get it, a lot of people don't like the sci-fi direction, but that's where the franchise is going. So he didn't have any nice words to say about this, and a lot of people gave him backlash over this stream. Well, one person decided to make a tweet about it. This person's name is Alex, and their tweet is obviously satirical. It's a joke. If you go on this guy's Twitter long enough, you can see that he is constantly joking. And this person also happens to be a minor. Well, the people who are obsessed with Phisnom and are in his cult of personality, and the people who, I guess you could say, stan him, have decided to take everything that this child is tweeting about, which are obvious jokes, and have decided to twist it to be uber serious and to be an actual attack on Phisnom in his opinion, which is golden because Phiznom's entitled to his opinion, but the kid isn't entitled to their opinion. It's kind of weird like that, but if this was just a back and forth on Twitter, it wouldn't really matter. But what makes it different is the fact that this kid ended up starting to get death threats, ended up getting gore sent to them, ended up getting their servers raided, all because they made jokes on Twitter towards Phisnom. It'd be like if fans of Security Breach did all of that to Phisnom. It'd be messed up. It'd be completely messed up. But instead of just telling people to not do that, Phisnom instead makes a fake apology and rickrolls the kid, because that's really professional. Later on, when he was getting a ton of backlash, he did do a real apology, but at that point, it's like Logan Paul going out into the forest. You know what happened there. It's I have to apologize because I'm in a lot of trouble. It's not a genuine apology. And I'm gonna stick with that. It's not a genuine apology. If it was a genuine apology, he would have done it the first time. But basically, he tries to apologize to this guy. He gets joked on more. He calls for Phisnom to be fired, which I'm mixed on this. Because for me, I think Phisnom is extremely unprofessional. I think Phisnom is not fit to be a developer. I don't think Phisnom has people skills. I don't think Phisnom is good for Scott, and I don't think he's good for the FNAF brand. And considering that we've had Lady Fitzy act crazy, we had Kane Carter get into crazy dramas, we've had actual pedophiles in the fandom, in the fanverse, we've had so many things go wrong with this. We do not need this guy also acting like this. Right now, the fanverse is a complete and utter joke, and it is people like him acting like this that make it a joke. So things continue on the way that they are. He keeps doubling down and tripling down and acting more childish. People ask him when is FNAF Plus coming out, and because he's the memester, he's a real good joker, he decides to say that it's been done, which is probably breaking all types of contracts that he has. Like, people sign non-disclosure agreements. So I'm pretty sure that can get you in trouble. And that for every day that people ask about it, he delays the game's release. Which, that makes you look bad. That makes Scott look bad for employing you. That makes everyone look bad. Because you're saying that a game is done, and you're holding it hostage because people don't like you. Now, here's the thing. I'll give you benefit of doubt just like I did with the kid. It's a joke. But the thing that separates you from the kid is you work for Scott. You work for a company. You work for a major IP. You have to act professional. Meanwhile, the literal child doesn't. If you want to go back to your youth and be a trolling child, you can do that away from Scott. And it would appear that that has happened. I cannot confirm this, but Phisnom has been removed from the FNAF Plus Steam page, and he is banned from interacting with the community. And honestly, I think that's better. I think that because he doesn't like the fandom, he doesn't like the stuff coming out from other people who work with FNAF, and he doesn't seem to like anyone but his own group of people, him and Kane Carter's people, it's probably best for him to just step away, even if it's forced stepped away. But I'm curious what you think though, Luminous. Please give me your insight on this.
I think he is just incredibly unprofessional, like you said, because he didn't just make a fake apology where he rickrolled the kid. The kid showed proof that he was being sent gore and stuff on an alt account, and allegedly, Phisnom liked it, which would show that he did see it. I'm saying allegedly because I don't think there has been evidence of that, but he then proceeded to rickroll the kid, and I'm pretty sure before that he was making meme posts about him getting the death threats, which is like, it's ridiculous. It's incredibly unprofessional because you are absolutely 100% allowed to have your likes and your dislikes, your criticisms. If you don't like Security Breach and you don't like Ruin, that's fine. You are allowed to critique it. But since you are connected to the games, to the fandom, so directly by being a fanverse creator, I think you should be more professional with it, more professional with your critiques. Don't just go, oh, this sucks, oh, that sucks, oh, like, because it seems like every time I hear something about Phisnom, it's him talking about how much he hates the fandom, how much he hates FNAF, which just has me questioning, if he hates it so much, why doesn't he work to get his game done faster and publish it? Because he has allegedly had it done for, I think it was 3 months now. He has allegedly had the game done for 3 months, according to him. Whether he likes, or whether he's being honest or not, it could be a joke. If he doesn't like it and he wants to be done with it, why hasn't he just released the game already? That's what I want to know the most. And honestly, just because of how unprofessional he is and how bad he makes the rest of the fanverse and the community look, I think it's good for him to be separated. I don't think he should work for Scott anymore. I don't think he should have any connection to the series anymore. His game should just be released, and he should be done with it. Because he is not a positive person to have in the community. He is someone who is actively saying he doesn't like FNAF, repeatedly saying how much he doesn't like FNAF, and then is still like heavily tied to FNAF because of the game he's making. So I just think that's a bad look. With how unprofessional he is, I really think he should just be gone.
So I guess the final thoughts of it all is that if you represent a company and you represent a corporation, you have to leave the troll persona behind. You have to act with some level of professionalism. And if someone starts memeing on you on Twitter and you don't have anything nice to say, then don't respond. And if you see that this person is being harassed, don't meme on it further. If you are the professional involved, you should immediately chastise it and be done with it. I'm not going to go complete smooth brain and say he controls his audience. He sent the people to do it. I'm sure he doesn't even like that it happened. But the reality of it is that he had a chance to stop it early on. He had a chance to at least chastise and wash his hands of it. And he chose not to, which led to this person getting more harassment, because that only validates the people harassing them that it's okay to do it by participating in it yourself. This is not something that is rare for Phisnom. Him and Kane Carter act like this to people. It's really unprofessional, and I'd be shocked if we get the Fanverse Wave 2. To me, I'm gonna go full Theft King here and just say the Fanverse is dead. Like, it is completely dead. And I don't care if, like, they get merch. I don't care if they release the games. Like, it took way too long for these games to come out. Like, multiple people involved with this have been dropped because of their unprofessional behavior toward minors. Like, this is a failure. In all sense, it's a failure. And people like Kane Carter can continue saying that it's not. You can continue saying blah blah blah, whatever. But to me, it's a failure. Because the few successes you've gotten, like, majorly are outweighed by the controversies, the drama, the full-on, like, full-scale wars going on over this project. This was supposed to bring the fandom together and give a way for talented developers to profit off of making fan games. But instead, it gave a few egotists the power to completely tear apart this fandom. And I honestly feel bad for the fans, because this could have been something really good. And I honestly am disappointed in all of the developers who's acted like this. That goes for everyone that we've talked about in all of our episodes involving this project. And yes, this is going to be in the playlist about the fanverse and why it was terrible, because the fanverse is the gift that keeps on giving for anyone who has issues with the FNAF fandom. And honestly, I love the fandom. I love the fans. I don't like cult of personalities, and I don't like people who actively say they hate the fandom and hate the games but continue to lurk because they have nothing better. Like, get a life, get a new thing to obsess about, quit latching onto the one thing that you're relevant in, and do something else. That is all I have to say. Be nice to people when you represent a company, because you're not just representing yourself, you're representing Scott, you're representing all the other people who work on FNAF. Try to be a bit professional. This wouldn't fly in any other job, and we're at least seeing now that it doesn't fly here. And I'm not saying that Kane Carter should be next, like some people are saying. I'm saying that this should be assigned to Kane Carter to act more professional, because he should have been from the start.
I also want to add real quick that everyone who was just saying that Phisnom is just being attacked for his opinion on Ruin is incredibly disingenuous. Well, yes, I'm sure that is happening. That is not why people are mad at him. And I think everyone trying to say that that is all that is happening, like, you're doing a disservice because you are misinforming people. Whether you are intentionally doing it or not, I think you should be looking further into the situation. Because just to say that he's being attacked for saying that he doesn't like Ruin and saying that it sucks, that is completely incorrect with how the situation is going. And I do not appreciate it.
But yeah, we are going to be covering more of this as it continues. I don't want to make this a complete drama channel, but the fanverse stuff has been something I covered all the way back before we started talking about FNAF, and I feel personally connected to it, so I'm going to continue talking about this. Hopefully it improves, and hopefully everyone involved can improve, and we only hope the best for Scott and for the FNAF fandom as a whole. So yeah, if you guys like this, you can like it. If you guys want to see more content when we get around to it, we've been super busy working on our own game. You can share this video around to FNAF fans. It would really help right now. And spread the message that this type of behavior shouldn't be allowed and shouldn't be encouraged at all. And if you guys want to see more content like this, you can subscribe, because as soon as we get a clear schedule again, we're going to go right back to FNAF videos. We are really hyped to talk about all the stuff that's going on, the new merch, the DLC, everything, the new games, the movie when it comes out. So yeah,
That's
stick
super
around.
hype.
We're going to be doing more stuff soon. Bye.